All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off with giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Yahweh Kakodash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his word in truth and sincerity and for well. Salutations to the elect. We're going to win some of those men and women that believe in fear in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, patiently waiting for the day of our salvation, the day of our redemption. Yeah, I'm the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you in another good blessing. It was inspired by this video that I was watching from an elder Asha Yar from GMS. I want to say North Carolina. It's from one of the North Carolina camps. And his page is GMS All Precepts. Hey, please subscribe to this elder's page and be edified, man, because he makes edifying videos all the time. You know, and in his video that he did, he brought out the understanding of the mindset of these wealthy nobles, right? These semi-elite, really ain't not elite. They're just puppets for the super elite, right? They'll tell you about Sam Altman. They'll tell you about Mark Zuckerberg and the things that they're doing, but you never know what the Bacon elite families have done and are doing. And but they're doing the same thing. They're hiding from the destruction that's coming, right? The destruction that's being had, because on one end, they believe that they're bringing this destruction as a controlled demolition for the old world, and as they prop up this new world order, right? And they believe that they're going to come out of the ashes of the old world order like a phoenix to reign again, and that's not going to happen. Okay, this video is also inspired by yesterday's lesson we did with Elder Apostle Kubar, Elder Apostle Ramla, and Bishop Tazadakpa, and the brother Kahan Allah, and myself. We did a video yesterday, and Elder Apostle Kubar was speaking about the same topic, you know, and he went through some of the precepts that we're going to get here tonight or this morning. And, you know, this is their thing. You know, they want to hide. And that spiritual right there says Ricky Emmanuel 144, you know. Yeah. You know, but anyway, the point of the matter is these elite, so-called elite, start with the elite bankers, right? They are trying to stave off the destruction or be saved from the destruction. And really, they will be, because again, well, not again, because as the title says, the nobles will be the first fruits of slavery, right? They're going to be the first slaves in the kingdom as has been established by Yahweh Shah Mashiach and the angels and the elect. Okay, and so without any further ado, let me read this first precept that I got. And this is Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And who does this? Esau, Edom, right? They believe that their house is going to continue forever. It's never going to fail. It's just going to go from one generation to the next. And for over 500 years, that's been happening. But they don't understand that the Lord has been setting them up so that he can take them down, right? Building their pride up, which ain't hard to do in the Edomite, but nonetheless, building their pride up, making them believe that their enterprise is going to work. As the scripture speaks about, they're not going to be able to fulfill their enterprise. In fact, the light of the wicked is going to be put out. But this is what they do. They expect that their inward thought or their expectation is that their houses is going to continue forever, right? And they're going to make the world a more draconian, a slave world, a digital slave world, while they get to enjoy the fruits of the world. They're going to control everybody. That's what they believe. They're going to control everybody via this RFID microchip, aka MOTV, right? With buying and selling, because that's what the average person is consumed with, right? Just pretty much surviving. And in order to survive in this society, you got what? Buy and sell. So that's their key component, their economic system, which is deception in itself too, because it's really not money. It's just a ration, a highly controlled ration system, right? While they get to continue their enterprise. That's what they believe is going to happen. But they don't know that Yahweh Shah is going to destroy them, right? He's going to destroy them and take them down, right? And they call their lands after their own names. And we see how Esau get down. When he conquer a land, he'll change the name to his own name. Shit, you got Colombia, right? The Colombians in that country, those are the Asherites, right? They're not Colombian, but that land was named after Cristobal Colon. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, named given by George, I think Balsammuller, right? Then you got all these different countries, even during the time of Rome. Africa is named after Scipio Africanus. Asia is named after the term Asia. I think Asia is named after an Edomite. And it goes on and on and on. This is what they do, right? And they're no different from yesterday as they are today, right? This is what they do. I just want to look this up. There was a word I wanted to see here. Their inward thought, right? Actually, I just want to read it in NLT and AMP. It says that the grave is their eternal home, where they will stay forever, right? They may name their estates after themselves in the NLT. And the AMP, it says their inward thought is that their houses will continue forever, right? Because this is where they want their eternal home at on this earth. But they don't have an eternal home because they're not an eternal people. We are, the Israelites, we're eternal people. Their kingdom is not eternal, right? This is a wicked kingdom, and wickedness cannot survive, especially in the presence of righteousness, right? Their inward thought is that the house will continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They have named their lands after their own names, ignoring the Most High. And this is what they do. Their inner thoughts. Their inner thoughts is that, look, we're going to keep this, and we're going to bring this, we're going to bring the chaos, right? Because they're preparing the world for chaos and America for a controlled demolition. And they know what comes with that: civil unrest, great civil unrest. And people are going to be looking at the people that they put on the spot to get, whether it's your Mark Zuckerberg's, your Sam Altman's. Yeah, I think one of them guys' houses got hit up. It might have been Sam Altman's house. The guy from Palantir. These are drug addicts. Elon Musk. You really believe that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world? People really believe that. Notwithstanding them bigger elites, they propped him up. He's not liquid. The super banking elite families, they're liquid. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, these are people you barely hear about. And they control the system so well that even when you type their names up in the search engine, you get conspiracy tags on you, right? You get limited information about these people, right? You don't hear nothing about the Gettys, the DuPonts. These people run the show behind the scenes. And the Rothschilds being the top family. And their information on them is still limited. But they're men. They're not gods, right? This is a precept. This is a precept in the book of Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel chapter 29, verse 2. Ezekiel 29 and 2. I'm sorry. 28. 28. Ezekiel 28. Sorry. Ezekiel chapter 28 and 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, in modern day Tyrus, the prince of modern day Tyrus is Esau Edom. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shah, because thine heart is lifted up, that's that pride, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. The seas represent nations. Yet thou art a man and not a God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High, or as a heart of the God. But so just letting you know, you're just a man. All these kings were men, right? They don't even realize that Yahweh Shah put them in a place of power. One of the brothers on the comment board could put Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. And shalom to all you brothers that's on right now, right? Okay. One of you brothers could pose Daniel 4, 17, Papa Shah. Right, let me keep on reading. Ezekiel 28, 9. Wilt thou yet say before him that slaved thee? Because Yahweh Shai is coming back to slay you on the orders of his father Yahweh, and he's coming back for vengeance. Will thou yet say before him that slayeth thee? So can you tell Yahweh Shai that you're God? Will thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a God? But thou shalt be a man and no God. You're not a power. And in the hand of him that slayeth thee, thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers. For I have spoken it, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let me see that word for strangers. Yep, the Hebrew word there for strangers is zawar, which is a stranger, to become a stranger, a foreigner, an enemy. Stranger, to be one alienated. Right? It says a man, a place. It says come from another man or place, fanner, specifically active participant to commit adultery, strange foreigners. All right, let's go back. Okay. Again, it says, thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken and saith the Lord. And that's ultimately what's going to happen to Esau. Right? He's done. And so what they're trying to do is, when you watch the elders video, I pretty much watched the whole video, except for maybe like another minute and 20-something seconds. But this video right here, the elder goes in about how these banking elite, not just banking elite, but these what do you call that? Silicon Valley tech captains of industry, how they're hiding, and they're trying to escape from the apocalypse. And so we have somebody that's created an app to follow the plane flow of private jets, to notify you if the ultra rich are fleeing the city en masse, which the ultra rich don't even stay in the cities like that. And then the video the elder was playing that most of these Silicon Valley tech leaders, they cancel all their public engagements, right? And they're focusing on hiding, because these AI tech gurus and heads, they work for the banking elite. So they're trying to be able to stay alive when all hell breaks loose, right? And they're preparing it. They're claiming that it might happen this year, next year, but they're preparing for it, right? Brother Jim as a Tazadak, duh. Yara 144K, GMS DC Tazadat, Yara 144K, Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and demand by the word of the holy ones, and to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, right? And he and give it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men. So it's not Esau's ingenuity, it's not his technology, it's not his oh man, Shalom, Elder Malcolm. I didn't even see you up there as a Quan Salaki, right? He posted Khan, beloved, even those Kardashian witches have multi-million-dollar bunkers in the escape plan, right? Because they're lesser luminaries, they're tapped in. And so these people are trying to protect themselves because they know that something's coming down the line. Even the dude Prince, I don't know if y'all remember that the artist Prince, before 9/11, he already knew what was going to happen. Like some years, like in the 90s, he was performing at a concert, and he said, I gotta go. Osama's coming, right? 9/11. That's what he said, right? So these people are lesser luminaries. They get tapped in by the elite. And how we know that? Because of what happened to Aaron Russo. Nick Rockefeller came to Aaron Russo and tried to get him to join the Council of Foreign Relations. And he told him all this stuff that was going to happen before it happened. He told them about they were going to go again, they were going to blow up the towers, they were going to search in the mountains for somebody they're never going to find, right? And that a war was going to break out. He also told them that the RFID microchip is what they want to implant in the people, and all your money is going to be on those chips. And Aaron Russo wasn't in the truth. He didn't know the word, but yet he was able to get the download from this guy, which is prophecy, right? Right. Scipio Asiaticus, the water apostle. the water bishop. Well, he is a bishop because he's the head of the camp. All right. Elder Malcolm posted it up. Scipio Asiaticus, Africanus' brother. So Scipio Africanus, you had Scipio Africanus, and you had his brother Scipio Asiaticus. They named those lands after themselves. You know? But yeah, these people, they're trying to hide. And what are they hiding from? They're trying to hide from the Lord, and they're trying to hide from the destruction, because people are they put these people on the front. Like you see these, like pictures of billionaires, right? Pictures, tech billionaires, right? You could just type tech billionaires, right? You can type tech billionaires and then images, and then this is what shows up. These people, right? These are so-called tech billionaires, and then all of these guys are set up by the super banking elite. Some of them may be related to them, but they're all set up. They didn't make their billions hard work and dedication. They made their billions because they were propped up by the banking elite. So the average person in this world believes that these are the people that's running the world. Oh, tech, what they call them, tech. There's a word for technocrats. These technocrats, but they don't run shit. Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Google was created by the CIA, and they just made them the face. The same thing with Facebook. Facebook was set up to get information, personal information, and pictures, updated pictures on not only American populace but the world, right? So they got a picture to everybody. They created something called a digital footprint. Larry Ellis, this dude, I remember back in the 80s, him and this guy, Bill Gates, they claimed that they were going head to head because Larry Ellis owned Oracle, Bill Gates owned Microsoft. Right now, how you thinking that this guy, Jeff Bezos, is the smartest, most financially sound and business savvy person on the planet Earth? He's a fucking idiot. Just like what's this dude, Elon Musk? He's a bumbling idiot. And not only him, these guys right here. What's that nigga name? I was saying, what's the Palantir? Palantir. Right, these guys from Palantir, right? These are nothing but drug addicts. This guy's a drug addict, and they just dress him up and make you think that this guy is super smart and brilliant, and he's behind this AI system, and he's just so smart. Him and Peter Thiel, he was friends. He was in business with Elon Musk. With what's that app called? It begins with a P, PayPal. And then all of a sudden, this guy he's so smart. He's talking about keeping people alive, and he don't want the masses alive. All these guys believe what the super elite believe. They're nothing more than Carol Quigley's, right? And put in the leadership position. But these guys don't make policy. Can you imagine this dude, what's his guy name? Alex Karp. This dude is a drug addict. I'm gonna show you. You think that this guy is running something? Like Alex Karp. He couldn't sit still. Can't sit still. He was high. This nigga was high on drugs, man. I'll just play the short.
And I'm curious where you land. Do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
Of course not. I think that's stupid, honestly. And you know what? Again, you can go all day on these stuff. It's honestly idiotic. I grew up half my...
Man, I'm trying to find it. The nigga just kept moving.
What is the biggest problem in this culture? I'll tell you the biggest problem. No one believes the institutions are credible. And why don't they believe they're... And I struggle to believe they're credible too, because these business decisions, later they're getting huge bonuses. And that's a huge problem. Like if you make, so I think the real version is I made a lot of decisions when we began talking, annoying each other 10 years ago. Hopefully I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago.
We keep moving around and
or
shit.
More.
Look at this nigga.
When
he's high as shit.
I made you know this. Yeah. Every decision Palantir made, FTEs, going public, building products, enterprise, large data sets, going to government, acknowledging American superiority.
That's another thing too. All of them work for the government. All these tech gurus, they work for the government. They don't work. They're not isolated.
Being pro-meritocracy
to get public opinion and people after them.
launching an AI platform, calling into question that AI models would actually be able to perform without orchestration. Every single one have to copy us. Microsoft going out of business or now have to copy us. Microsoft launched Ontology. Everyone wants to do that.
This nigga, I don't know, they must have scraped it, but I remember seeing this. That this nigga couldn't sit still, man. He was all over the place, man, kicking his legs up and shit. Look at this shit. Person, if he was in an interrogation room, man, they'd be like, "Oh, this nigga's guilty, bro." Look at this shit. Hold on.
Knowing each other 10 years ago. Hopefully, I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago, or more. When
these are drug addicts, man. The nigga, Elon Musk, right? This guy right here. High. This is like high at a press conference. These are drug addicts, bro. But you think this guy is smart? You think he's the smartest man in the world? You think this guy is so smart?
The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
It's the New York Times. Is that the same publication that?
Yeah, I ain't got to keep going on it. But these people, these guys right here, they got the memo, and the memo is you better hide because they're coming for you. So they got billionaire bunkers. They got spaces where they can hide and crackhead behavior. They got places where they can hide themselves from the thing, because from the judgment that's happening. Because again, the super elite banking families, you don't know them. So it's like an onion, right? They create, these guys think that they're so hot, they're hot shit, but they don't know that the banking elites are using them. They're willing participants, but nonetheless, they're using these guys, right? Because when all the hell breaks loose, you're gonna really think that these people running shit, these people making policy. What are they at? Let's see. Yeah, you're gonna think that these people. What is that? Oh, right here. You're gonna think that these people running shit and they ain't running nothing. Nothing. Warren Buffett, he ain't running shit. Michael Bloomberg, he ain't running shit. David Koch, he not running shit. The Koch brothers, they not running nothing. Right? They not, if you know them, they're nobodies. If you know them, they're nobodies. Right? If you're measuring their money, right, and their accolades and their so-called business acumen, you don't know you don't know anything. But these are the people that's they're gonna be the shield for the super elite. And so they got bunkers, and not only them, you got celebrities, and you got celebrities the same way. They're used for the super elite, and they're gonna hide because all hell's gonna break loose, and they ain't gonna want to be thrown in a concentration camp, right? They don't want to be thrown in a concentration camp. So what they gonna do? They gonna hide. You got this right here, Khloe Kardashian, right? Kardashian. These people are wealthy for doing nothing, right? Khloe Kardashian, bunker. She has a bunker, right? She has a what do they call it? She has a Khloe Kardashian. Yeah, right here. Her pantry and shit. Even Khloe Kardashian's pantry is absolutely crazy. But she has a bunker, secret bunker. Let me see if I find Khloe Kardashian. Apocalypse. Yeah, Apocalypse bunker. Right. Panic. This Kim and Khloe Kardashian panic inside a doomsday bunker. Yeah, these niggas got there. She's eating in she's eating in a bunker. Kim Kardashian meets doomsday bunker builder. This like 5 years ago. And why are they doing that? Because they know something's coming down the pipeline. But these people don't get ate up because they serve no real purpose in the new world order. Their children are not. Here it is right here. Or the elder had did a video on it 3 years ago. Khloe Kardashian doomsday bunker prepping will not save you from the Lord. It's not. And she's not even an elite. She's not even an elite. She's nobody. Nothing. Right? She gonna get raped, all that shit. They're gonna tear her ass up. And they know this. So they're gonna hide. They're gonna hide. Why you gotta hide if you're doing the right thing? Why you gotta hide if you ain't got nothing to hide? Well, they gotta hide because these are Satan's children. Right? And Yahweh Shai is coming. Just like them demons were scared of Yahweh Shai, them demons that was inside that man, those legions of demons that was inside that man at the cave were scared of Yahushua, and these people are scared of Yahushua. How we know that? Revelation chapter 6, verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Right? I know brothers saw that. Y'all remember seeing what's that movie called? The Kingsman. Right? They had a movie called The Kingsman, and then they had a it was basically an in the world scenario, and all these people, the Kingsmen, hold on, mountain scene, right? They had all these people flying to these mountains. Not Kingsmen. Let's see. Yeah, it wasn't a golden circle when it was the first one. Kingsman Secret Service, yeah. Kingsman. Kings Sloppy, brother. I'm typing it up. I'm looking for a Kingsman Secret Service mountain scene, and they showed an image of all these planes flying into the mountain. I'm just looking to see if I can find it because it's been hard to find that. But they had all these celebrities. They had all these celebrities inside a mountain retreat because all hell was breaking loose, and they were about to let whatever they were going to destroy the people. They were going to destroy the people with. They put them in the mountains, right? Like this. It's hard to find a scene when XZ goes to the mountain scene and shit, right? But this is like this is the area right here. They had all these celebrities, right? And all these people, they started retreating to these mountains, and that's what's going to happen in real life, right? Because they're going to be scared of the Lord when He comes. So again, it says. And every free man hid themselves, because this ain't talking about the average person, the average Joe Blow. You're gonna be in the cities, you're gonna be dead, pestilence gonna be hit, it's gonna be over for you. But these wealthy people, right? These elite bankers, these technocrats, they're gonna hide these high-level celebrities, right? And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. Who sits on the throne? Yahushua. And from the wrath of the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? And from what? The wrath of the land. For the great day of his wrath is come. And who shall abide? Who shall be able to stand? You see? Yeah, I got that on deck too, brother. Psalm 149. Right? So you think that you're going to hide, you think that you're going to be able to, protect yourself from what's coming. But you're not. What else is coming besides the destruction? Your slavery. These people know they're going in captivity. Right? The banking elite, they gone. They hear this word that we're speaking through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They hear a message from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua through the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, starting with the apostles, the bishop, elders, a great millstone. They hear this word. They've been hearing it for decades. And now it's coming to fruition. So they're hiding. They're getting out the way. But guess what's going to happen? You're going to be preserved for slavery. That's what's going to happen to you. You're being preserved for captivity. Psalm 149 and 6. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. To do what? To execute vengeance. The praises in the mouths of who? The elect. And we're going to have a physical two-edged sword in our hand. And we're going to have a rod of iron. Right? To what? To execute vengeance upon the heathen. So it's a massive payback that's about to be given unto you heathen nations. And punishment upon the people. To do what? To bind their kings with chains. Who are the kings? These elite bankers, man. They're gonna get changed, like we said in live yesterday. You get a chain, baby chains, women chains, men chains, all of these banking elite, they're going into chains, they're fettered to iron. Let's keep on reading. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters to iron. And what happens when you get put in chains? You're in captivity now. Now you're a slave to execute upon the judgment written. And what's the judgment? The kingdom's going to be destroyed. Their military is going to be destroyed. America's going to be destroyed. Their pride and joy, America's going to be destroyed. Right? Their wealth is going to be taken over in an instant, in 1 hour. In 1 hour, it's going to be over for them. Right? And they think they got enough shit down there to stave off a couple of years, but it still ain't going to be enough. Right? Because the reason why you have that is because you're being preserved. Just like the elect is going to be preserved through this destruction. The only ones that's making it out of here is the elect of Israel and the elect of Edom and the rest of them nations, the rest of the elite, because you have the elect on their side, which is the elite bankers, right? And their nobles. They're the choice of their people. Well, guess what's going to happen? They taking their ass head first in a captivity. And it's to execute what? Upon the judgment written. Dishonor have all the saints. Who are the saints of the Most High? The Israelites. Starting with the elect of Israel. Okay. This is going to be your judgment. So says Yahweh Bashar Shah. Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 14. Matter of fact, I like this. I like a lot. Let me read up. I'll start at 12. Ezekiel 39 and 12. In 7 months shall those, in 7 months, because what's going to happen is the destruction is going to happen. It says prophecy against Gog invaders destroyed, because Gog's going to invade the state of Israel, right? And that's what's going on. Third World War is going to be kicked off. When the Third World War is kicked off, they're going to bring all that firepower to the Middle East, right? Which they're already doing right now. They're staging it right now, right? And all them weapons, all of that shit is going to be destroyed, right? So let me read this. Verse 8. Behold, it is come, it is done, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons. So these nations, they're not going to have no weapons to fight against us. And they're going to try. You will try. They're going to try. And that's okay, because that's going to allow us to get to exercise those new bodies on them, right? Those extraterrestrial bodies on them, right? Because nothing's going to be able to kill us. Nothing's going to be able to stop us. Nothing's going to be able to destroy us, man. So we're going to take their weapons and burn them, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the hand staves and the spears. They shall burn them with fire 7 years, which is a complete number, right? So that, verse 10, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them. These nations start with the elites and rob those that rob them, saith the Lord Yahweh. We're going to rob you, you nobles, man. It's over for you, man. It's over for you. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto God a place there of graves in Israel. Because this, I'm going to show you a map. Right? Because I know brothers like illustrations. Right? This is a map. This is a map of the Middle East, so-called Middle East. Right? Right here. Right here. This is the area in which that fight's going to take place in. Right? Saudi Arabia, it's that desert. It's like a big boxing ring. Right? Right here. And this is going to be that valley. Right? Let's go back to Ezekiel. Right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto God a place for their graves in Israel. Because that's a part of our land, that area. The valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses because of the passengers, because of all the death. All them rotten bodies are going to be smelling putrid. And there shall they bury God, which God is the Russian armies, and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamingog. In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, that they may cleanse the land. But we ain't touching no bodies. We ain't touching no dead bodies, because that will corrupt us. We can't be corrupted, but that it makes us unclean. So guess what? You know what's going to do this shit. Yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah. And they shall sever out. We will give you heathens continue sever men out of continued employment. When you sever somebody, that means you're giving something. We're gonna give you employment, so you ain't got to worry about unemployment in our kingdom. You're gonna be busy all the day, every day, except for the Sabbath. I don't think that it's gonna go fast like it does in this society, where it's Monday and you look up, it's Friday. Nah, nigga. The first day gonna feel like 10 years to you, man. Right? And maybe feel longer than that. One day in the kingdom might feel like 100 years, because that ass gonna be working. We don't care if you die. We'll just bring you back to life. And guess what you're gonna be doing? Working. And we ain't gonna be standing over you every time you drop dead. I gotta pick this nigga up. No, we just put it on your spirit that it can't go into the spirit world, and you just keep reanimating in that same fucked up body with no water. Like my nigga Finesse 2 Times said, and no milk. No, with the canned milk, powdered milk, no jelly, nothing. You ain't gonna have nothing, right? But work. And they shall sever out men continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth. So them dead bodies that's on top of the earth, they're gonna be burying them to do what? To cleanse it. And after the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when they see if a man's bones, they shall set up a sign. So it's like when you walk through the field of the dead, they see somebody dead there, they got to put a sign there. Hey, this is a dead person, bury him. And don't think that you banking a leak gonna get that job. You ain't gonna get that job. Hell no, nigga. You're gonna be what? And they shall set up the sign. Then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried. Who's gonna be the buriers? Jacob Rothschild, David Rockefeller, David what's his name? David the Rothschild, Nathan Rothschild, all them ilks. You're gonna be the buriers till the buriers have buried in the valley of Hamingog. So they're gonna have to walk all of this. They're gonna have to walk around all of this shit right here. And they're gonna have to put signs, and they're gonna have to bury them. The buriers gonna come behind them, which is gonna be the vacant elites, right? And then guess how they gonna dig with their mouths, nigga. They ain't gonna get no shovels. You're gonna have to dig holes in the ground with your hands and your mouth. And if you get hungry, eat the sand. How about that? Eat it, nigga. You haven't seen terror. We're gonna bring terror to you, man. It's about to get dark. You scared of the planet of the Jakes now. Wait till it happens. Right? This is that in that word for employment. That word for employment in verse 14. Right? That word for employment in verse 14. This is what they're scared of, brothers. This is what they're scared of. Because they had put us in chattel slavery and nothing happened. Jake just went around trying to survive, man. Created small towns. They didn't bother nobody. They didn't bring no water to Esau. They didn't do shit. Because it wasn't time. When our bodies are changed in the twinkle of an eye, when we get in them chariots, it's over, man. It's over, man. You should have never did it. And that's okay. You had no control. You're supposed to do it. But we're supposed to do this too. Right? I'm going to get that precept. It's just a precept that popped in my head. But the word for heat, what the hell? Our apologies, we're experiencing an unexpected error. Yeah, Esau, he's messing with it. Now you're experiencing an unexpected error, right? Come on. The Hebrew word there for employment is tamayad, which is what? Continue perpetuity to stretch continuously. So you're going to have continuous employment, man. Continuous employment. Constant. Explicitly regular, daily. Continual employment. daily. It's never going to stop except for the Sabbath. Without interruptions. You're going to be working. Ain't no lunch breaks. Ain't no lunch breaks. Ain't no lunch breaks. Ain't no cigarette breaks. None of that. You ain't getting no 2 10s and a 30. Nah, nigga. 2 10s and a 30. Hell no. Hell fucking no. Right? Psalm chapter 9, verse 15. Yep, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. Yep, that pit, that destruction. You heathen, you gonna be sunk down in the net which they hid is their own foot taken. Right, let's read that in the NLT and the AMP. The nations have fallen into the pit they dug for others, because these nations, they want to destroy us, but they're going to be destroyed. These nations, they want to enslave us again, but they're going to enslave. Right, that's a pit for them. Their own feet have been caught in the trap they set. Right, this is what's going to happen to them. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. Hell is the grave. Hell is a fucked up condition. Right? So they're gonna go from heaven to a hellish condition. Because they're in heaven right now. But their heaven is ending, right? That noonday is about to hit. I ain't talking about 12 in the afternoon, we're talking about 12 in the morning. It's about to hit. Because the morning starts in the evening. Right? So they're going to be what? They're going to be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Yeah, we're going to look at this devil, like this guy right here. These people, right? They're supposed to be the Lord's people. They're supposed to be the blessed of the earth. This devil right here, right? He think it's, we're gonna look at this nigga in a pit. I'm like, yo, this is the guy. This is the guy that did shake kingdoms, that ruled the world. Or these two right here, both of these niggas in the spirit world right now. Supposedly David Rockefeller and Jacob Rothschild, they're in the spirit world right now. Right? We're gonna look at this man like, is this the man? He ain't got no powers. He don't have no spiritual powers. He don't have nothing. He don't have no army. He don't have nothing. He don't have no, his money is worthless. And them suits and ties, this shit gonna turn into a short set. Them suits and ties gonna turn into a fucking short set, man. Because that's how long they're gonna be down there. Scratching and surviving. Right? We're gonna look at this devil and say, what is this? Shall now look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Because they did that to us. They said, is this the city of beauty of perfection? That's what they said to us. In Lamentations 2 and 15, they said that to us. So we want to say this to them. That made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners, of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. And that's in the future. But you Edomites, thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. And as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass tried under their feet. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to roll them niggas into the pit, man. Imagine a big ass sinkhole, right? Like this. You ever seen a hole this big? A huge sinkhole. This shit is crazy. Look at this shit. They got the world's largest sinkhole, shit like this. This is a pit. Imagine getting kicked in one of these motherfuckers, bro. And then you got to climb out that bitch. Since you like to climb up, you like to climb on rocks, you like to climb on mountains, well, climb out of that pit, nigga, and get to work. Just imagine thousands of these, hundreds of thousands of these pits in the ground, right? Outside of our kingdom. And every evening when the sun goes down, right? Because it's the beginning of the day, they got to climb up out of this shit. And they got to go to work. Got to go to work, man. Got to go. Like big ass sinkholes, man. Deep ass pit. This is the pit. Let's go back to this. right? It says, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. When these nations get their renewance back, you're not going to be joining them. You're going to be destroyed because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. You're never going to be renowned. Let's look at that word for renown in Isaiah 14:20. Renown, right? The Hebrew word there is kara'ah, or kara'ah, quara'ah, right? Which is what? To call, to proclaim, preach, proclaim, renown, summon, invite, call, commission, appoint. Yeah, you never gonna, yeah, because these nations, these devils really think they're gonna be put back in power. Right? No, nigga, this is it. This is the last, like Michael Jackson, this is it. You don't get nothing else after this but slavery and destruction. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 17. Fear in the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. This was coming to you, devils, man. And you're gonna be the first to experience this, and then the rest of the world, the rest of the heathen nations, they're gonna experience it with you. Right? But your ass is first. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise is that nuclear destruction, right? The chariot fire, the destruction, and how they gonna flee into them bunkers, right? And from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare, right? For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth are shaken. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean and dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. When the nuclear missiles go off, this was going to happen to the earth. And it shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it. And it shall fall and not rise again. You nations, you're done. And it shall come to pass in that days that Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, right? So you heathens, starting with the banking elite, you're gonna be punished, man. Look what's in the NLT. In that day, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will punish the gods in the heavens, right? Gods, that's a lowercase god. You Edomites, you think you're gods, and the proud rulers of the nations on the earth, right? Because these banking elites, they got out of space stations, all of that shit. All them rockets that been going up, they ain't want no it wasn't just satellites, it was the elite going into outer space trying to hide. Because they're not gonna just go there as soon as they see your house shot and then they're gonna be escaping. Nah. They want to get there early to get acclimated. Right? That's why they had an old ass man. I think they had Buzz Aldrin or one of them niggas go up back in space. Dude was old as shit. Let me see the oldest man in space. Right, the oldest man to go into space. Was it a Jake? Oh, that's the look. They got a Jake and a Jake go up there. But it says the oldest person to travel into space is Ed Dwight, who was 90 years old and 8 months old when he flew on a Blue Origin suborbital flight in May 2024. Orbital space flight. The record holder is John Glenn, who was 77 when he flew the Space Shuttle Discovery on October 29th, 1998. Before that, right? You had John Glenn. Other notable, William Shatner was 90 years old when his Blue Origin flight in 2021, and Wally Funk was 82. These old and these people, this is a test, right? This is a test for the banking elite. They want to see if if an old body can sustain up there. There was another one where the oldest man, or the oldest man, because he stayed out there for like a year. Astronaut. Right? Ed Dwight. This is the black dude, right? Yeah, not him. Nah, it wasn't him. Let me see. Yeah, this guy right here. Right, in 2025, NASA astronaut Don Pettit is the oldest active astronaut to complete a long-duration mission, returning from the International Space Station at the age of 70. He spent 220 days on this mission, bringing his total time in space to 590 days over his career. Right, so he spent 220 days in space, man. This dude right here, Don Pettit, right? He was 70 years old, man. Why the hell would a geriatric, right? Because I think when you're 70 years old, what age are you considered geriatric, right? Geriatric. Yeah, 65 years old. So when you're 65 years old, you're already a geriatric. And you got a nigga that's 7 years old. You didn't thought that they put a young person up there. But no, this is the test flight for the elite. If it's good for him, then it'll be good for the other oldies, trying to hide. Like the song says, nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. Got nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. Yep. So it says, yeah, so that was that right there. This Isaiah, back in Isaiah chapter 24 verse 21. This is my favorite one right here. Isaiah 24:21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Right? And they shall, let me read this in NLT. NLT says, in that day the Lord will punish the gods of the heavens and the proud rulers of the nations of the earth. Right? It says, no, they ain't fallen angels. Hell no. Nah. These Edomites ain't no angels. It says, and verse 22, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and they shall be shut up in prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Right? So they're going to be thrown into a pit, and we're going to shut it up where they can't get out. They ain't going to be able to escape. Right? And it's like, it's going to be their prison. And after a while, after we done gathering up the rest of these people, right, we're going to come back to them pits. They're going to be dead. They're going to be starving. They're going to be crying, hurt, screaming, right? We don't care. They're going to be visited. You're going to be, now it's time to go to work. Let's go. Yep. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to bring this out, right? I was inspired again by this video I watched from Elder Ashiyar from North Carolina, GMS North Carolina. And he really put it, the Spirit of the Lord put it on my spirit to, do a lesson and go into this, right? So I hope we're edified. I hope I didn't keep up for too long. I know it's early your time. May the Lord continue to bless each and every last one of us. Give us a double portion of His Spirit. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Yahweh Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders, a great millstone, the teachers, word, truth, sincerity, salutation to the elect. Keep pushing, keep striving. We almost out of here. Hey, Shalom. Shalom.